when I think about trying to be original, in some cases, that doesn't solve the problem. That just makes it harder.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it all boils down to what you just mentioned. What problems are we actually trying to solve, right? I think in the case of brand, in trying to be unique and leave a footprint and be iconic, like there can be some problems where that mentality of show me a design I've never seen before really resonates.
Welcome to Not Quite a Podcast, where we talk with founders, marketers, writers, builders, and designers about life, business, marketing, and more. And sometimes we even say something smart. When that happens, we take the best of our talks, tidbits, and wisdom and post it here for our listeners.
I wanted to jump back to something you said. You were talking about your professor about design, right? And what was the poster again? It said,
show me a design I've never seen before. And it was a call to action. It was a challenge, and it was meant to challenge us as young designers to just push. He was kind of famous for, now I don't want to see an idea or two. I want to see 70. Like, give me all the thumbnails you can give me. If you haven't done, X amount, you haven't done enough. And it's always like an obscene number for, a class 3 days from now kind of thing. But it challenged you to just kind of get the expected ideas out there, push harder to that unexpected place and territory, get a little wild and creative, and know that, no, those are never going to make it. That's not going to work. But I needed to get that idea out, to riff on it, to work through it, to get it to some other further evolved state. So that was such a good set of lessons learned as a young designer, and I actually, still, I don't know what year, I guess I graduated about 16 years ago from that college. So, it's still fresh in my mind. I know it's something I think about when I'm thinking about pushing through and like pushing a little bit harder, a little bit deeper, or challenging my team to do the same.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea and sort of challenge, if you will. But I guess for me, design is about problem solving. And so when I think about like trying to be original, in some cases, that doesn't solve the problem. That just makes it harder. Like you think about websites and you think about, the user experience and how they navigate. Like sometimes just changing it to be a weird looking button is not going to help. Right?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it boils down to what you just mentioned. What problems are we actually trying to solve, right? I think in the case of brand, in trying to be unique and leave a footprint and be iconic, like there can be some problems where that mentality of show me a design I've never seen before really resonates. And then in other instances, it might need to fit a family, or it might need to fit into something that's existing. Certainly in the case of like web design and UX, we try to always be original for sure, but absolutely with certain things like e-commerce, there are so many familiar patterns out there that we're all just conditioned to, ingrained to anymore. That, matter of fact, last night I was doing some online shopping late while watching the game, and I forget the brand, but there was a clothing brand where I was trying to order a sweater for my daughter that my wife saw she liked. She kind of put it on the list. And as I'm going through that e-com experience, it was a very differently designed e-commerce site, like to be more creative, more stylish. And honestly, as somebody that designs sites for a living, that has been involved in that process pretty intimately for a long time, I was confused as I was checking out, and I got super annoyed, and I actually almost abandoned the purchase because nothing was familiar, and it was seemingly done that way for style reasons only. And I found that to be a really annoying aspect of that UX. So it had an impact, almost cost them a sale. At the end of the day, I think she'll look awesome in the sweater. So we went ahead and made the purchase, but it was pretty annoying. And just everything felt unfamiliar, and I felt like I had to relearn what I was doing while doing it on the fly, while tired. It was just kind of a weird set of kind of conditions and circumstances.
Yeah, and I think that there's some brands. So when I think of like the spectrum, I think of there's design and then there's art. And so when you think about art, it's like absolutely has to be unique all the time. Like you want it to stand out and be just totally different.
Mm-hmm.
You think about design, it's got to be practical. It's a balance of that. So in your example, when you're talking about a checkout experience on a website, that's not the time to be unique and novel. That's the time to move them through that funnel and get them to the end to complete the purchase as frictionless as possible, right?
100%,
and
yeah.
So I think the bigger the brand or the more luxurious the brand is. So if you were on, I'm just going to guess that you weren't spending a couple $1,000s on that sweater for your daughter.
Right. Right.
when you when you get into that space, that's where, that purchase can feel more adventurous or like a bigger experience because you're making a bigger purchase, right? But I think in the everyday life and kind of things that we do, I'm not saying that everything has to look like Amazon or Walmart.com, right? But there's definitely a place to stand out and be different. And then there's a place to just get in line and make the sale.
100%. And I think in the world of like fast fashion, which is the world I was in last night, you said it best. I think you can have a unique experience like up to a certain point in that shopping experience and then that journey. And then at a certain stage, man, I don't even know that I want a normal, like traditional checkout. I want that like quick single sign on or single sign out kind of checkout process where I can just click to do through shop.com or Apple and I'm checked out within seconds and frictionless, simple. I don't have to think about any of the steps at that point, right? That's where you're going to start to lose me a little bit. I think when you are talking like luxury brand, right? And there's multiple figures behind that dollar sign, not just like something simple and cheap. I think that is when you can take some adventure and some risk. I think people are wanting a different experience, a bit of uniqueness, maybe something like more immersive to just feel like part of a different world. And I think that's when you take the calculated risk to differentiate with something unique and novel.
Well, I think it also adds to sort of the exclusivity of the product that you're selling at that point too, right?
Yeah, and I think it's something to build up excitement about it too, right? I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's not just the bag, right? Or the watch or whatever it is that you're buying. It's the experience and it's everything that comes along with that. Right. And when we're talking about higher end brands like that, they have these amazing in-store experiences. And how are you translating that to online? And then, I mean, what about that last mile, right? What about the at-door experience that they're getting when they open that box and that whole thing?
Yeah, 100%. And I also feel like, that's an area where you can also offer a bit of concierge service when appropriate, right? Whether that's in some kind of like a process or a portal or some kind of back end where you're welcoming to like the world you live in or your family or whatever, right? From a brand's standpoint. So in my mind, that's where that white glove service can look really cool in a digital way and be pretty unique. And I can't wait to see what like the world of AI has for that type of experience and how it can bring that like feel to maybe brands that we don't think of as luxury brands, but we think of as just ones that put UX first, ones that put like user needs and anticipation first as well.
Growing up watching TV with commercials and seeing during the day, like seeing infomercials, right?
Yeah.
And seeing and always wondering like who calls in and buys this, right? Like who's buying this shit for real? And it's the older, it's our parents, right? It's the older generation that's doing it. And I'm I'm never going to fall for that.
I've never, ever done that or
right.
Anybody that has, nor would I. No way. No, I'm just joking.
But
I don't know what it was for. It's probably like CDs back in the day, right?
Well, I totally fell for those in the mailers when those came in the mail. And it was
100%.
Like, absolutely. And then you had to quickly like cancel it before you got paid. You got like signed up for the whole year.
Yeah.
But no, what has gotten me now, I don't know, probably, 4 or 5 times now, more than I'd like to admit, is a very, very well-targeted, mostly product I do not need, like a gag gift, essentially a meme on a product that I can click on Instagram and buy with Apple Pay and have it in like 3 weeks and I forgot about it, but then there's a package from China. That gets me, and that is our version of the infomercial.
100%, man. I think there's been so many products I've tested, new companies I've discovered through Instagram ads that are I want to say that I can rise above and not be influenced in those ways. And then they hit me with something and it's like, I got to check this out more. And then I'm seeing retargeting ads galore the next couple of weeks. And it's like, all right, let's just commit. Let's see what this is like. Let's order it, see if we like it. If we don't, we can ship it back, praying that they don't have a difficult return policy or something like that. But yeah, I think that it's actually almost easier for us to order. Like, I think if this is the comparison, right, that this is the new infomercial, man, we're in trouble because it's so much easier to just click a few taps on your phone or tap a few buttons on your phone, double tap your Apple Pay acceptance, and boom, it's shipped to you in a couple weeks when you've totally forgotten about ordering it in the first place. Yeah, that can be.
Now you can like split it up into payments.
Yeah.
I mean, literally all you do is look at it, you double click, it scans your face, and you're done.
Yeah.
I didn't create an account. I didn't do anything other than that. I'm just, and I go back to it. Like I'll buy like the t-shirts, this t-shirt from one brand of a t-shirt that I tried multiple brands. I found this one. I'm like,
That's it.
They'll drop a new color and I'll click, done.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have an account with them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you. I think I found the brand Noble, right? The like workout brand of apparel through Instagram ads and targeting. And now they're my favorite workout like apparel. And I have way too many products from them. But they even have what's kind of been a fascinating, I think, evolution in this new age of infomercials, if you will, is now there are dedicated channels that follow them that will announce drops when sales happen or major break points in pricing happen on either specific items or like seasonal stuff. So they as a brand can put out that messaging, but now they can also just rely on not even influencers that they're paying. It's like influencers that love that brand, that follow that brand, that have a following because of their love for that brand. And what a just fascinating evolution in the world of marketing that this is the place we're in now. I'm excited to see where it goes in 10 years. It's going to be kind of scary, but it's going to also, I think, be really, really fun, really interesting.
AI influencers, that's where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Those might not even be real people that you're following.
As long as my kids don't have like unfettered access to a credit card, I think I'm good. I'm too optimistic at that point.
Oh man.
So what's the like best, or now let's start that question over. What's the funniest thing that you've purchased from the new infomercial?
Gosh, so last year for my mom, she loves puzzles. And like she gets into these jigsaw puzzles. And so one of them that came up was a puzzle where the cover of the picture on the front of the box was entirely different than what was actually in the puzzle.
Beautiful. I've seen those. I love them. Yeah.
And so it's this really like beautiful, countryside, whatever photo. And I thought she would dig that. But then she starts putting it together and it is a field, but then in the field are all these dogs taking a shit. There's probably like 10, 12 dogs.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
And my mom, she's a very conservative person, I would say. So
that was quite a...
She was like shocked, and she was just like, this puzzle has a whole bunch of dogs taking craps in a field.
Yeah.
And she was offended, and she was like, and I was like, well, I was like, it's a gag gift. And she was really offended. And then she was like, I'm totally giving this to my friend.
Yeah, forward. The name gift. Oh, that's great. So how far along in the puzzle kind of completion process before she realized?
I don't know how far she got, but I think it was pretty far along. I mean, like she knew and she kept going. Like,
yeah.
She couldn't not finish the puzzle.
That's great.
But she was offended and then wanted to offend someone else.
And wanted to pay it for it. Yeah, I see where you get it. I think I see where the apple didn't fall far from the tree there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thanks for listening to Not Quite a Podcast. To hear new episodes, view the archive, or find out more about being a guest on the show, visit notquiteapodcast.com.